Have you ever wondered what truly separates those who thrive in their golden years from those who simply survive? When you reach 65, every moment becomes more precious, and your body starts revealing clues about your future vitality. Some individuals in their late 60s and 70s remain vibrant, mentally sharp, and physically active, while others begin experiencing rapid decline, health complications, and diminished quality of life. The difference often lies in several key factors, subtle yet powerful indicators that can predict how vibrantly you'll experience your later years. In this video, we're exploring 8 hidden secrets that reveal how energetic and vital you'll remain beyond age 65. These aren't myths or quick fixes, they're based on extensive research and patterns observed by gerontologists and longevity experts who study those who age exceptionally well. By the end of our time together, you'll understand exactly what to look for in your own life, and more importantly, the practical steps you can take to enhance your vitality for years to come. Stay with me until the end, because you might be overlooking simple habits that dramatically impact your future well-being. Once you recognize these patterns, you'll have a clearer picture of where you stand and what adjustments might help you add not just years to your life, but life to your years. Let's begin our journey. Secret 1. Your recovery time. One of the most revealing indicators of how vibrantly you'll age isn't found in complex medical tests or genetic screenings. It's something much more observable: how quickly your body recovers from exertion. Research consistently shows that people who bounce back rapidly from physical effort, whether it's a walk, gardening, or climbing stairs, tend to maintain their vitality longer than those whose recovery becomes increasingly prolonged. Consider 2 friends, David and Michael, both 67 years old. David takes a brisk 30-minute walk, and afterwards his breathing returns to normal within a minute or 2. When he climbs a flight of stairs, his heart rate settles quickly, and he feels ready for the next activity almost immediately. Michael, however, needs several minutes to catch his breath after similar exertion. He finds himself needing longer rest periods between activities, and sometimes feels drained for hours after moderate physical effort. What David doesn't realize is that his quick recovery isn't just good fortune, it's a powerful sign that his cardiovascular system remains efficient, his mitochondria, the energy powerhouses in his cells, are functioning optimally, and his body's ability to adapt to stress remains robust. Michael's extended recovery time suggests his systems are working harder to return to balance, placing additional strain on his heart and other organs. Your recovery capacity isn't just about fitness, it reflects your body's overall resilience and biological age. When systems throughout your body can efficiently return to baseline after being challenged, it indicates greater physiological reserve, the extra capacity that becomes increasingly precious as we age. The encouraging news is that recovery time can be improved at any age. Regular, appropriate physical activity, proper hydration, sufficient protein intake, and adequate rest between exertions can gradually enhance your body's bouncing back ability. If you've noticed yourself taking longer to recover from ordinary activities, don't dismiss it as inevitable aging. Pay attention to this vital signal and take measured steps to strengthen your recovery capacity, because how quickly you rebound today offers meaningful insights into how vibrantly you'll live tomorrow. Secret 2. Your curiosity level. Something rarely discussed but profoundly impactful on your longevity is your level of intellectual curiosity, your natural desire to learn, explore, and engage with new ideas. Neuroscience research shows that people who maintain active curiosity well into their later years tend to preserve better cognitive function, experience greater life satisfaction, and often live noticeably longer than those whose intellectual engagement diminishes. Think about Martha and Ruth, both 72 years old. Martha regularly explores new interests. Last month she began learning about astronomy, recently downloaded a language app to practice Spanish phrases, and joined a book club that intentionally selects diverse genres. She asks questions in conversations, follows her granddaughter's recommendations for interesting podcasts, and frequently starts sentences with "I wonder." Ruth, conversely, sticks firmly with familiar routines and topics. She watches the same television programs, reads the same types of magazines she's enjoyed for decades, and often dismisses new technologies or cultural trends with "that's not for people my age." What Martha may not fully appreciate is that her curiosity isn't just enriching her days, it's literally reshaping her brain. When we encounter new information and experiences, our brains form new neural connections, a process called neuroplasticity that becomes especially crucial after 65. This continuous rewiring helps preserve cognitive function and build what researchers call cognitive reserve, additional mental capacity that provides buffer against age-related changes or even early dementia processes. Curiosity doesn't just benefit your brain, it improves psychological well-being by creating regular doses of wonder, satisfaction, and accomplishment. It fosters social connections as you share discoveries and engage with others around new interests. Even your immune system responds positively to the novelty and stimulation that curiosity brings into your life. The wonderful aspect of curiosity is that it can be rekindled at any age. If you've noticed your interests narrowing or your enthusiasm for learning diminishing, start small, ask one thoughtful question daily, explore a topic slightly outside your comfort zone, or simply take a different route during your regular walk. Because maintaining that spark of wonder doesn't just make life more interesting, it might significantly extend the quality time you have to enjoy it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment Curious Mind below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and activating notifications so you don't miss our upcoming content. Now, let's continue exploring our secrets. Secret 3. Your breathing patterns. Something we rarely consider but that powerfully influences how we age is the way we breathe. Most people breathe without conscious thought, yet research indicates that breathing patterns, especially respiratory rate, depth, and whether you breathe primarily through your nose or mouth, strongly correlate with longevity and overall vitality after 65. Consider Thomas and Gerald, both 69 years old. Thomas breathes slowly and deeply, primarily through his nose, averaging about 12 breaths per minute, even when discussing emotional topics. His breathing remains in his lower diaphragm rather than high in his chest. Gerald, however, tends towards shallow, faster breathing, often through his mouth, averaging 16–20 breaths per minute. When stressed or excited, his breathing becomes noticeably rapid and irregular. What Thomas doesn't realize is that his breathing pattern isn't just calming, it's enhancing nearly every system in his body. Slower nasal breathing increases nitric oxide production, which improves oxygen circulation, reduces blood pressure, and supports immune function. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, reducing chronic inflammation, a key driver of age-related diseases. Gerald's rapid, shallow breathing pattern, conversely, keeps his body in a subtle but constant state of stress activation, gradually wearing down his cardiovascular system and accelerating cellular aging. Proper breathing affects everything from sleep quality to cognitive function. It helps maintain appropriate carbon dioxide levels in the bloodstream, which affects how oxygen is delivered to tissues. The physical act of deeper breathing also massages internal organs, supports lymphatic flow, and maintains the elasticity of lung tissue, which naturally becomes less flexible with age. The empowering aspect of breathing is that patterns can be improved at any age with conscious practice. Simple exercises like breathing in for a count of 4, holding briefly, and exhaling for 6 counts, performed for just 5 minutes daily, can gradually retrain your unconscious breathing patterns. If you notice yourself frequently sighing, yawning, breathing through your mouth, or feeling short of breath during normal conversation, your breathing patterns may be sending important signals about your internal health. Pay attention to how you breathe during different activities and emotional states. The way you draw breath today might be influencing how vibrantly you'll live tomorrow. Secret 4. Your feet health. One of the most overlooked predictors of healthy aging lies literally at the foundation of your body, your feet. Podiatric research shows that foot health and function after 65 correlates remarkably with overall mobility, independence, and quality of life in subsequent years. Yet most people pay minimal attention to their feet until problems develop. Meet Patricia and Dorothy, both 73 years old. Patricia maintains excellent foot health. She wears properly fitted shoes with good support, regularly stretches her feet, addresses any discomfort promptly, and performs simple foot strengthening exercises weekly. Her toenails are well trimmed, her skin remains moisturized, and she's mindful of sensations throughout her feet. Dorothy, however, often squeezes her feet into fashionable but ill-fitting shoes, ignores occasional numbness, and has developed several compensatory walking patterns to avoid foot discomfort. She considers foot problems an inevitable part of aging. What Dorothy doesn't realize is that these seemingly minor foot issues are gradually affecting her entire body. When we alter our gait to accommodate foot discomfort, we create chain reactions through the ankles, knees, hips, and spine. These compensatory movements increase energy expenditure, reduce stability, and often lead to additional joint problems over time. Furthermore, reduced foot sensitivity and strength are directly linked to fall risk, one of the most significant threats to independence after 65. Healthy feet provide reliable sensory information about balance and terrain, maintain proper circulation, particularly important for those with diabetes or vascular issues, and enable the confidence needed for regular physical activity. Walking with proper biomechanics, supported by healthy feet, delivers gentle impact that helps maintain bone density throughout the body. The encouraging news is that foot health can improve at any age. Simple practices like toe spread exercises, arch stretches, regular inspection, appropriate footwear, and addressing problems early can transform foot function. If you've noticed changes in your feet, increasing discomfort, altered walking patterns, reduced sensation, or difficulty finding comfortable shoes, don't dismiss these signals. Consider a professional assessment by a podiatrist, especially if you have diabetes or circulatory issues. The health of your feet today might significantly influence how actively and independently you'll move through the world tomorrow. If you're still with me and finding this information valuable, please comment "Happy Feet" below to let me know you're engaged. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to join our growing community of wisdom seekers and activate notifications so you don't miss our future videos. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content. Now let's explore our next secret. Secret 5. Your hydration habits. A frequently overlooked, yet profoundly important factor in how vibrantly you'll age is your hydration status. While everyone knows water is essential, research specifically focused on adults over 65 reveals that consistently proper hydration correlates strongly with cognitive function, joint health, digestion, and overall cellular performance. Consider Elizabeth and Catherine, both 68 years old. Elizabeth maintains excellent hydration. She drinks water throughout the day, consumes hydrating foods like cucumber and melon, monitors her urine color, and adjusts her intake during exercise or hot weather. She keeps water accessible in every room of her house, and while traveling, Catherine, however, often goes hours without drinking, frequently experiences mild thirst, relies heavily on coffee and tea, and sometimes notices symptoms like headaches, fatigue, or dry mouth without connecting them to hydration. What Catherine doesn't recognize is that even mild chronic dehydration is silently affecting nearly every system in her body. Our interstitial fluid, the liquid environment surrounding our cells, becomes less efficient at delivering nutrients and removing waste products when inadequately maintained. Cognitive function is particularly sensitive to hydration status, with studies showing that even 1 to 2% dehydration can impair attention, memory, and processing speed, effects that compound after age 65 when our thirst mechanisms naturally become less sensitive. Proper hydration supports joint lubrication, reducing the friction that accelerates wear on cartilage. It maintains proper blood pressure, reduces strain on the heart, and helps prevent the blood thickening that increases clot risk. Digestive processes require adequate fluid, and chronic mild dehydration is a leading contributor to constipation, a common issue after 65 that can cascade into more serious health problems. The kidneys, which naturally lose function as we age, require sufficient water to efficiently filter waste products. When chronically underhydrated, these vital organs work harder, potentially accelerating their aging process and affecting overall health. The good news is that hydration habits can improve at any age. Rather than forcing yourself to drink large quantities occasionally, focus on creating consistent patterns, a glass upon waking, before each meal, and throughout daily activities. If plain water doesn't appeal to you, try adding natural flavors with cucumber, berries, or citrus fruits. Monitor your urine color. Pale yellow generally indicates good hydration. If you find yourself frequently experiencing dry mouth, headaches, fatigue, constipation, or dark urine, your hydration habits may be sending important signals about your overall health. How well you maintain your body's essential fluid balance today will significantly influence cellular function, energy levels, and cognitive performance in the years ahead. Secret 6. Your sensory engagement. A surprising predictor of vibrant aging is how actively you engage all 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Neuroscience research indicates that people who regularly stimulate and protect their sensory systems tend to maintain better brain health, emotional well-being, and social connection as they age. Meet William and Charles, both 71 years old. William maintains rich sensory engagement. He wears proper hearing protection in noisy environments, gets regular vision checkups, enjoys exploring new flavors in cooking, keeps tactile hobbies, like woodworking, and often stops to appreciate pleasant scents in nature or his garden. He notices and appreciates sensory details in his environment. Charles, however, has gradually allowed his sensory world to narrow. He turns up the volume, rather than addressing hearing difficulties, hasn't updated his eyeglass prescription in years, eats the same few meals repeatedly, and rarely engages in activities that provide varied tactile experiences. What Charles doesn't realize is that sensory impoverishment accelerates cognitive aging. Our brains require varied sensory input to maintain neural connections and processing abilities. When we allow sensory pathways to deteriorate or narrow our sensory experiences, we reduce the stimulation that keeps our neural networks robust and responsive. Each sense provides unique brain benefits: visual processing exercises large portions of our cortex, hearing connects us socially and emotionally through voices and music, touch provides crucial feedback about our physical environment while releasing bonding hormones, taste and smell are deeply connected to memory formation and emotional processing. Sensory engagement also profoundly affects quality of life. When senses diminish without adaptation or compensation, people often withdraw from activities they once enjoyed, reducing both physical activity and social interaction, 2 critical factors in healthy aging. The encouraging news is that sensory health can be maintained, and sometimes improved at any age. Protecting your hearing from excessive noise, addressing vision changes promptly, exploring new flavors and aromas, and seeking varied tactile experiences all help preserve sensory function. Additionally, the brain maintains remarkable plasticity. When one sense diminishes, others can be intentionally strengthened. If you've noticed changes in any of your senses, sounds becoming muffled, flavors seeming less distinct, or needing brighter light to read, don't dismiss these as inevitable aging. Many sensory changes respond well to intervention, whether through medical treatment, assistive devices, or sensory retraining exercises. The richness of your sensory engagement today may significantly influence how vibrantly you experience and interact with the world tomorrow. If you're still with me and finding this information valuable, please comment all 5 senses below. Your engagement means a lot, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to join our community and activate notifications. Now let's explore our next secret. Secret 7. Your posture and alignment. A powerful yet often overlooked indicator of how vibrantly you'll age is your postural alignment. Research in biomechanics and aging shows that posture, how you physically hold and move your body, correlates remarkably with respiratory function, energy efficiency, pain levels, and even mood states beyond age. 65. Consider Janet and Marilyn, both 74 years old. Janet maintains excellent posture, her ears align over her shoulders stack over her hips, and her spine maintains its natural curves, whether sitting or standing. She regularly performs exercises that strengthen her core and back muscles, remains mindful of her alignment during daily activities, and adjusts her environment to support good posture. Marilyn, however, has gradually developed a forward head position, rounded shoulders, and a more pronounced upper back curve. She finds herself leaning on counters or furniture for support, and has accepted her changing posture as an inevitable part of aging. What Marilyn doesn't recognize is that her postural changes aren't just affecting her appearance, they're fundamentally altering her physiological functioning. When the head shifts forward, it can place up to an additional 30 pounds of pressure on the cervical spine, compressing nerves, restricting blood flow, and straining muscles. This position reduces lung capacity by up to 30% as the diaphragm cannot fully expand, which affects oxygen delivery throughout the body and increases fatigue. Poor alignment creates inefficient movement patterns that require significantly more energy for basic activities. Over time, these compensations create wear patterns on joints, potentially accelerating arthritis development. The postural muscles designed for endurance become weakened, while other muscles become unnecessarily tense, creating pain cycles that further limit movement. Perhaps most surprisingly, posture directly affects neurochemistry. Research shows that upright posture increases testosterone and serotonin while reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, literally changing how we feel emotionally through our physical position. The empowering aspect of posture is that it can improve at any age with consistent attention. Simple practices like posture checks throughout the day, appropriate strengthening exercises, ergonomic adjustments to living spaces, and mind-body practices like Tai Chi or certain yoga positions can gradually restore better alignment. If you've noticed changes in your posture, feeling shorter, seeing a more forward head position in photos, experiencing increased upper back roundness, or finding yourself leaning on supports more frequently, don't dismiss these as fixed realities of aging. Your physical alignment today influences nearly every physiological system and may significantly impact how comfortably and energetically you'll move through life in the years ahead. Secret 8. Your purpose clarity. Our final and perhaps most profound secret to vibrant aging transcends the physical. It's the clarity of your purpose, your reason for being, what the Japanese call ikigai. Extensive research in psychoneuroimmunology shows that people who maintain a clear sense of purpose beyond age 65 experience remarkably better health outcomes, including stronger immune function, lower rates of cognitive decline, and significantly longer active lifespans. Meet Robert and George, both 76 years old. Robert maintains strong purpose clarity. He volunteers teaching literacy twice weekly, mentors young professionals in his former field, tends a community garden plot that supplies a local food bank, and is working on documenting family stories for future generations. He wakes each morning with a sense of what contribution he'll make that day. George, however, has struggled since retirement to find meaningful direction. He fills his days with television, casual errands, and occasional family visits, but often feels adrift, sometimes wondering aloud, what's the point of it all now? What George doesn't realize is that his purpose uncertainty isn't just affecting his mood, it's influencing his physiology at a cellular level. Purpose activation triggers neurological and endocrine responses that regulate inflammation, support immune function, and even influence how genes express themselves. Studies show that strong purpose correlation is associated with lower levels of inflammatory markers like interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein, which are linked to numerous age-related diseases. Purpose provides the motivation to maintain health-promoting behaviors when they become more challenging. It offers psychological resilience during inevitable late-life losses and transitions. Perhaps most importantly, purpose creates ongoing opportunities for learning, adaptation, and contribution, all essential elements for cognitive health. The beautiful aspect of purpose is that it can be discovered or rediscovered at any age and takes infinitely varied forms. It need not be grand or publicly recognized. Purpose might involve creative expression, relationship nurturing, knowledge sharing, spiritual practice, or community contribution in even small ways. If you've found yourself questioning your relevance, feeling directionless, or struggling to find meaning in your days, don't dismiss these as normal aging experiences. They're important signals inviting deeper reflection. Consider what activities make you lose track of time, what issues still spark your passion, or what unique knowledge or perspective you've gained that others might benefit from. Your sense of purpose isn't peripheral to health. Increasing evidence suggests it's central to how vibrantly you'll experience your later years. Final thoughts. Now that we've explored these 8 secrets, recovery time, curiosity level, breathing patterns, feet health, hydration habits, sensory engagement, posture, and purpose clarity, take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are you thriving in some areas while others might benefit from more attention? The wonderful news is that each of these factors responds to mindful action, regardless of your current age or condition. These aspects of health are deeply interconnected. Improvements in one area often create positive ripple effects through others. Better posture enhances breathing, which improves energy and recovery. Stronger purpose motivation increases likelihood of maintaining hydration and sensory engagement. The compounding benefits create upward spirals of well-being that can transform quality of life. If you've recognized areas where you might make improvements, I encourage you not to wait. Small, consistent actions today create significant differences in how you'll experience the years ahead. The goal isn't simply extending lifespan, but maximizing your health span, the portion of life spent in good health, with the energy and capacity to engage in activities that bring meaning and joy. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these 8 secrets resonated most strongly with you, and what small step might you take this week to enhance that area of your life? Your experiences and insights are valuable, not just for your own reflection, but for our entire community of viewers. If you found value in today's exploration, please consider supporting our channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing with someone who might benefit from these insights. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that supports vibrant, purposeful aging. Thank you for joining me today. Remember that aging vibrantly isn't about defying natural processes, it's about working harmoniously with your changing body and mind to experience the richest possible expression of this precious stage of life. Until next time, I wish you health, purpose, and profound well-being on your journey.